is the Minister for Business and Industry, Nadhim Zahawi. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Justin.
Let's kick off with the economy, and let me ask you this. When you look in the widest sense of what the government has done, we know what it's done. When you look at what it is doing now, we know. But give us a kind of sense of how you see the coming months, potentially years.
Thank you, first of all, for hosting this summit and hosting me today. Technology is clearly transforming the way we interact and the way we hold summits like this, actually in many ways. And I've been on many calls, including on the recovery, where we were able to link in people from around the world, investors, so that we understand better what it is that motivates them to invest in the UK. It's a privilege, of course, to be part of the International Automotive Summit. And I think I would absolutely congratulate everyone who has helped to make it work. This virtual format this year is clearly different, but I also think there's some lessons to learn as well to make the future year summits, I think, equally interactive and global. You're right, Justin. The COVID-19 pandemic has been unprecedented. The threat to public health, which has been everybody's immediate priority, has been massive. I want to take the opportunity to thank the many companies, and it was mentioned just now, across the auto sector that have provided equipment and support to the NHS and key workers around the UK over the past few months. The auto industry has certainly stepped up and delivered. The lockdown, which was essential to protect public health, I think has presented a unique challenge to the UK and global economy. That is why we have provided, I think, a comprehensive package of support across the economy, including the UK auto sector. What the Chancellor did was immediately make available £330 billion, yes, £330 billion in loan guarantees through the Business Interruption Loan Scheme, the C-Bill scheme as is referred to, the CL-Bill scheme, the Corporate Finance scheme from the Bank of England, and of course, bounce back loans as well for the smallest of businesses, and the job retention scheme, the furlough scheme that we just spoke about, and VAT and tax deferrals, I think have also helped the industry through this difficult time. I guess the way I would describe it is, there's three chapters. In the face of a global pandemic, we wrapped our arms around the economy to save as many jobs as possible and designed all of our interventions with that in mind, whether it's furlough or bounce back scheme. This next chapter is about opening up the economy and making sure that the recovery and the interventions we make and the profile of those interventions, which is why we review all of them, hence why furlough has become more flexible and extended to October, have to make sure they meet the demands of the auto sector and other sectors, because as people come out of this lockdown, their needs will be very different. And then the final chapter is all about fiscal and non-fiscal interventions that we'll be making, and the Chancellor and the Prime Minister will be saying more on that shortly. We're also making changes to the insolvency rules so that we help companies cope who are maybe in need of financial rescue or restructuring. I think that was an important move, albeit technical. Nevertheless, many company leaders have said to me that was an important move. And I'm gratified to see that there has been many on this call and in the industry who have taken up these schemes across the sector. I have held regular roundtables, those on here today will know, with the key industry leaders and stakeholders to understand how we can support and, of course, continue the resilience and competitiveness that was just mentioned of the UK auto manufacturing during COVID.
On that point about supporting it in the future, let me turn. Can I ask you a specific question that arises from what Mike Hawes has just been saying, and it's on this business of the continued ability of the industry to trade with zero tariffs with Europe. What is the government doing to make sure that happens?
Well, so clearly, as Mike has just said, I fully appreciate the importance of the future of the UK trading relationship with the EU for the automotive sector. You know that the political declaration that both sides signed up to, and we got that deal so that we can leave the EU, says very clearly that both sides will work towards zero tariffs and zero quotas. The EU is a destination for British built exports, and we have secured our place, I think, as the second largest car market in Europe. In addition, the sector relies on our integrated supply chain within the EU. We want a relationship with the EU based on friendly cooperation between sovereign equals and, of course, centered on that free trade agreement. The UK is a significant importer, as you know, of auto vehicles, and avoiding tariffs should be absolutely beneficial to both sides, given our shared commitment to high regulatory standards. Now, alongside the EU negotiations, which will be intensified, both sides have agreed through July, thanks to the efforts, obviously, of the Prime Minister and the European partners. The government is now working to also continue tariff-free trade with EU free trade agreement partners. So what we've done is we've already agreed a continuity trade deal with markets such as Switzerland and South Korea and South Africa, which will come into force at the end of the transition period. And we're continuing discussions with others like Turkey and Japan, and those are happening at pace as well. So we are absolutely committed to remove tariffs with new partners, negotiate that free trade agreement with the EU, and I think both sides can deliver that goodwill that delivered the political declaration. We can get there, and of course the US trade deal has begun in May as well, and Australia and New Zealand will start imminently.
Understood. A quick one on net zero. And if it could be quick, I'd be grateful, Mr. Zahawi, because we are going to run out of time. But just a thought about net zero, about the commitment, and obviously this is also of huge importance to the industry, and about how the government envisages the next steps towards that 2050 goal.
Obviously, whilst our immediate focus is combating the spread of coronavirus, it's absolutely critical that we continue to work towards that net zero target by 2050. It's not just the target, it's the law of the land. That is why we are continuing to consult on our manifesto commitment to bring forward the end of the sale of petrol and diesel cars and vans from 2040 to 2035 or earlier if a faster transition appears feasible. As part of this consultation, by the way, we are asking what accompanying package of support will need to be in place to enable the transition and to minimize the impacts on businesses and consumers across the UK. And this is really building on the significant demand and supply side measures that we have already put in place. I won't go through all of them, other than to remind you that the Chancellor did include 530 million of extra funding to keep plug-in vehicle grants for another 3 years, and 500 million over the next 5 years for electric vehicle charging infrastructure. We recognise that the consumer experience of using charge points can vary greatly, so we will also consult on how best to regulate and improve the consistency of different charging technologies. The government is focused on the technology and manufacturing challenge, and the opportunities for industry are huge. The global market for ultra-low emissions will be 7 trillion by the year 2050. We have a long-standing programme of support to help transform the sector. By the way, including £1 billion of new funding we announced last autumn to advance the next generation of cutting-edge automotive technology. This morning, I am pleased to announce at your summit the latest wave of grant funding for the Advanced Propulsion Centre. The assessments for the 14th and 15th rounds of the APC have concluded, and a total of 10 consortia will receive funding. In total, the government, through the APC, will provide £78 million worth of grants to businesses right across the UK. These businesses will be working on research and development projects that will develop the UK's expertise in low carbon automotive technologies. Companies like BLR, LEVC, Cummins, Dennis, Eagle, McLaren, Ford are some of the partners of the winning consortia. These projects are live now or will go live imminently, and they will result in, I think, cutting edge technology, advanced manufacturing capability, and a stronger, more resilient auto sector in the UK, whether it's researching future battery design or manufacturing advanced electronic components. Companies in every corner of the UK are leading the world in advanced auto technology. The funding boost will enable these projects to develop new technologies so the auto sector can play its part in eliminating the UK's contribution to climate change by 2050. It's a big
Mr. Zahawi,
program. We're right behind you.
Brilliant to hear from you. Thank you very much for talking to us this morning. Thanks for sparing the time.